as we arrive here in our practice space, let's all just take a moment to really just settle in. I know from my own perspective that, when there's quite a bit on, or there's, different things to have to organize, and that takes up a lot of the mental space. I know sometimes that I can find myself a bit lost in that space and then suddenly go, just drop back in. And it's a very valuable process and practice to do, because it really just anchors us back down into what is real, which is here and now, here and now. So let's just take a moment to close the eyes, or partly close the eyes, rest the hands on the knees, and we're just going to tune in. Just feel the body, allow the body to move as you orientate into the practice today, as you feel yourself arrive and you consciously bring that intention to this process. Start to notice the breath in the nostrils, and moving into that space of awareness of what is real for you in this moment, in terms of physical sensations, in terms of breath and how it feels, and the all-encompassing intention to really turn that energy and that focus that is directed out into the world a lot of the time, but just to turn it back inwards. And in this way we start to give ourselves that energy instead of leaching it out. So let's take 3 breaths in through the nose, smooth, slow, breathing out through the mouth with a sigh, or just a soft whisper. Relax the jaw. Let's do another 2. And as you finish that round of breath, you might like to stay with the eyes closed, or open the eyes. Notice the shift. You might feel a little bit different as you've just consciously arrived in your body and your space and your breath. It feels quite different. So today's practice is all about ventral vagal tone. We've just practiced how to stimulate that ventral vagal tone through the mouth exhalation, which lengthens and extends the exhale. Ventral vagal tone is an excellent focus for any of those conditions or those states, such as anxiety or hypervigilance, when you get triggered into like really quite noticeable states of stress, fight, flight, you feel jangly, it's hard to feel grounded, it's hard to sort of get out of your racing mind. And so ventral vagal tone is where we use the body. So this is so important. We cannot just use the mind. It's a tricky place to be. The mind can lead us into all kinds of different terrain, but the body is really, where everything is kind of happening. So we use the body to generate these different states. So different vibrations, for example, that mouth exhalation where we just let the breath come out and we felt like a sensation in the throat perhaps. We extended the exhalation. That shifts our nervous system into more of that rest and repair state. That's really helpful. As we practice that more and more, we're able to drop into it more and more easily. So we're going to explore different ways that we can do that. The vagus nerve is one of the largest cranial nerves. It travels from the brainstem down through neck, throat, chest, diaphragm, abdomen, and it's got 5 different threads. 4 of them take information back up to the brain. So it's like sensing and feeling the body, which is where everything happens first. What's happening? What's the state of response to the environment, and then it feeds it back to the brain, and then we get a conscious, often, not always, but a conscious understanding of what might be going on. So we're going to practice in different ways, focusing on bringing our bodies into that state where we feel quite safe and well, and this state that generates that understanding on the level of the mind and the body that there is no threat. So let's begin with some face melting. This is a really lovely practice. I do it most mornings. We just bring the hands to the face, and we inhale, and we just massage gently as we inhale, forehead maybe, cheeks, jaw. As we exhale, we breathe out through the mouth, and we sweep the hands down and flip them away, like this. Let's do a couple, maybe 4 more. Let's do 4 more. Breathing in, massage, breathing out, flick away. It's so palpable. We can feel possibly tension around the jaw. And then we can feel that we have the capacity to let it go, to move it through. So feel like if you want to stick your tongue out, go for it. Let's do one more. Beautiful. Okay, let's rub the hands together. Another one that's really good for, bringing that nervous system into that state of calm and well-being. Let's bring the palms over the closed eyes and just bathe in that energy. Breathing in and breathing out 3 times as you keep the hands over the eyes. Last round of breath. And then releasing the hands down. Okay, so let's come up to standing. And let's just do some simple inhalations, arms out to the side, floating the arms up as though the breath is leading, and this anchors us more in the body. Breathing out as you float the arms back down. Let's just do 2 rounds, just simple movements of the arms with the breath. Floating up, try to stay present to the sensations in your body. Open to those sensations, nothing more, and float back down. Let's see how it feels to fold now as we hum the breath out. So another great tool for ventral vagal tone. Inhale up and hum the breath out as we fold. Bringing the hands to the back. Softening the knees as much as you need. Inhale, rising up. And if the moving between 2 planes like up and forwards feels too much, makes you dizzy, then just come halfway. Head heavy, neck long. Inhale. 2 more. As we do the last one. As we fold forward, soften your knees or straighten the legs, whichever you prefer. Release the arms, let the arms just hang. Do a little bit of side to side movement maybe. Feel the neck release, feel the back of the neck lengthen. Just feel that stretch that goes all the way down the spine, and then this way we're targeting, opening up, creating space around the nerves of the parasympathetic nervous system, which come out of the spinal cord around the cranium, so base of the skull, upper back, sort of neck area, and the sacrum. They're only 2 places. So we're stretching those areas. Let's just stay here for 1 more breath. And then you might like to round the spine and seaweed yourself back to standing. Coming up. Roll the shoulders back. And let's do that a few more times. Just feel the inhalation. Lift the shoulders. As you bring the shoulders back and down, exhale through the mouth. Inhale. We'll do 3 of these and then 3 in the other direction. What I really like about these tools is they're simple and they're effective. They're very effective pretty quickly. We can feel the effect of going, instead of holding the breath, shallow breath, it doesn't feel so good. Okay, so let's shake the hands, shake the feet. Just feel the whole body. Do a little bit of rebounding maybe, a bit of bouncing. This can be a really great one for if you're feeling quite triggered and you've got that anxious energy. Some people are more prone to that than others. Some people are more prone to kind of the lower states where they feel very lethargic and very dull and very down. Other people more towards the, like anxiety and hypervigilance and that stress state. Everything feels heightened. So this is a really good one. Oh, my window's vibrating with me. All right, shake it out. Nice. Okay, let's come back to earth and just feel those vibrations passing through the body. What do you notice? I can feel my legs, like little pulses, little energy pulses traveling up the legs. I can feel, if I bring my hands to stillness, I can feel tingling in the palms, I can feel sensation in the whole body, and I can feel that this is traveling up, back up to the brain, saying, hey, everything's fine. Let's take a breath. This pause helps the brain assimilate the state. So that's why it's really important. Let's come to the front of the mat, and we're going to practice sun salutes, but we're going to do them in a way that's quite seaweed-like. So let's bring the feet either together or hip width apart. Tailbone gesturing down to the floor, pubic bone lifting, and a little bit of engagement of the abdomen. Let's join the palms together at the heart. Awaken the breath. Remember that your pace may not be the same as mine, so go, according to your own breath. Let's inhale and float the arms up. You might float them up in front or out to the sides, and then see if that inhalation lifts the chest a little, creating a back bend. As we breathe out, let's join the palms and float forwards. Let the chin tuck in, gazing at the knees. And then as you breathe in, let's come up halfway. So a little bit of halfway lift here. Halfway lift, hands on the shins or fingertips on the floor. And then let's fold forwards again. We're going to come back up, inhale, float the arms up. Somehow reach up. And exhale, palms to the heart. Let's now bring in our hum. So inhale, float the arms, open up the chest. And exhale, float forwards as we hum. Noticing that will extend the exhalation, which will shift our nervous system into a calmer state. Let's inhale, halfway lift, halfway up, and hum as we fold again. Let's bring hands to the floor, step it back to down dog, and stay for 3 breaths as we pedal the heels, or maybe just, sway the hips or do some circles, feeling intuitively what we need today, shedding layers of tension so that we're not carrying unnecessary stress, which loads the nervous system. It creates a barrier to connection, inner connection, and it just doesn't feel good. So let's stay here just for a couple more breaths. Let's take an in breath and then breathing out to hum. Let's shift the shoulders over the wrists for plank pose and stay for a breath. Feel the engagement of those muscles. And then bring the knees down, bend the elbows, chest and chin to the floor, and let the legs stretch back. Tops of the feet on the mat and forehead on the floor. Let's inhale into a little cobra pose, keeping the lower body engaged. So squeeze the legs, squeeze the buttocks, make them work. Inhale, hum as you come forward. Turn the head to the side. Relax everything, let the buttocks relax. Inhale to come back up. And exhale, other side. Relax everything. And then let's push the hands into the floor, come back into extended child pose, arms in front. Sway the hips side to side. Feel the massaging of the floor against the forehead, the front brain. Take a breath, breathing out through the mouth. And then let's come up onto hands and knees and do some of that seaweed-like movements. That's really good for interrupting those patterns of stress holding and tension in the body. So move your hips, move your shoulders, move your head, move as one complete organism, which you are. Beautiful. Okay, let's now tuck our toes, lift up and back into down dog. Stay here for 3 breaths. Let's see if maybe there's a hum of the breath out on the exhale. Maybe the heels lift on inhale and there's an out breath. There's a humming on the out breath as you lower the heels. When you finish your 3 rounds, let's look to the front of the mat, walk up to the front of the mat. Inhale halfway, hands to shins, soften the knees. Humming to fold. And then inhaling to rise back up. So coming up, rising back up, inhale. Reaching the fingertips up towards the ceiling, arms can be shoulder width or palms together, lift up, exhaling to the heart. So we've done 1 round with a few different modifications. Let's do a couple more rounds. So inhale, rise, hum as you fold, soft hum, halfway lift as we inhale. Humming as we take it back to down dog. This time let's come through into plank. Inhale. And find the floor. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. Hum if you want. I'm going to leave it out this time. Lie on the front, legs extend. Hands either side of shoulders. Let's just do 1 cobra this time. Inhale, raise the head, looking up and humming as you come forwards. Pushing the floor away, coming back through extended child pose. Inhaling to rise up, this time into down dog. And staying here, inhale, raise the heels, exhale to hum. Looking to the front of the mat, walking forwards. Inhale, halfway. And exhale, hum. Let's rise up all the way, reaching the arms as we breathe in, humming palms to the heart. Let's release the hands and just take a moment to really sense and feel the effect of that sequence on the body, on the nervous system. Just take a moment to tune in. You might start to feel, if you have been experiencing any of that energy or just been feeling a bit congested and frustrated, on an energetic level, you might start to feel like things are moving through your system. That can be quite a noticeable effect. Okay, we're going to come to the front of the mat. I'm going to step the left foot back. So right foot is forward, left foot is back. Another way to feel or generate that feeling of like safety within is self-touch. So let's cross the arms over the shoulders, over the chest rather. Take hold of the shoulders. Just give your shoulders a little squeeze. Give your upper arms just a little massage and feel what it's like. Maybe take the hands up to your upper shoulders and maybe even parts of the neck and just gently massage, feel that. And then let's cross the arms the other way and then gently squeeze, massage. Feel the touch of the hands. Feel that nourishment, it feels quite nice. And now, let's keep the hands where they are as we come into warrior. So as we breathe in, we're going to bend the front knee, raise the arms up and out to the sides and lift the gaze. Warrior 1. As you breathe out, let's cross the arms again, straighten the front leg and look down. Let's move in and out, inhaling to sink into the pose and raise the arms. And then exhaling to come out. Let's see if we can cross the arms different ways each time. let's do one more round. As we come into the pose, let's stay for the exhalation. And maybe now you want to do something like, cross the wrists and join the palms, or interlace the hands, push the hands up to the ceiling, up to you. You might even do a side stretch. Just having a little bit of variety in your regular postures, which keeps the brain firing up. We want to keep changing things up. Really good for mental sharpness and focus, especially over time. One more breath. And then let's come out, palms together at the heart. Let's now step the back foot a little bit more in line with the front for warrior two. We're going to stay on this side. If you need a break from wide feet, bring them together, step them back. Warrior two, feet wide. Actually, no, do you know what? I've got it wrong. We're going to stay with warrior one. So sorry about that. Come back into warrior one. Hips square to the front. All right. We're going to move from warrior one. We're going to inhale into warrior one. And we're going to exhale into revolved triangle. So we're going to straighten the front leg. Bring the left hand to the floor. Right arm sweeps up and back. And then back we come. So right arm sweeps back, down, up as we come back into our warrior one. And then we exhale, we fold forwards. We bring both arms forward, straighten the front leg, left fingertips to the floor. Right arm sweeps down, back, and up as the chest and rib cage spiral round to the right. So the right side of the chest is higher than the left. And then come out, sweep arms down and then up into the air for warrior one. Should we do two more? So this is a little bit stronger, it's a little bit more kind of complicated, it requires some balance, but essentially, it's a really good one for just juicing up the muscles, getting things moving, shifting stagnation in the body and in the nervous system, or stuckness. So let's come into our revolve triangle, and if this is too strong for you, if you have a block, you might have your hand on a block. Another way to do it is to just rest your forearm on the opposite thigh and just make it more accessible, modify the pose to make it more you. Just taking one more breath. Feel your muscles, feel the engagement, and then I invite you to feel the release as you bring the arms down, up, passing through warrior one, and then straighten that front leg. Okay, let's step forwards and just totally come to neutral. Give the legs a shake. Take the effort out of the pose as you just stand in Tadasana. Just take a moment to sense and feel. Your body has now moved into a much less effortful state. You might even say it's, relaxed compared to what we just did. And let's try the other side. So left foot's going to come forward and right foot back. We're going to do the cross of the arms over the chest. We're going to inhale, bend the front knee and float the arms up. It feels quite grounded, but it also feels quite light and expansive in the upper body. As you breathe out, push the leg to straight, fold the arms. As you breathe in, open, expand. And then coming back. Let's try a couple more. And this time we're going to hold. So as you open up, expand, stay. What do you want to do with your arms? How do you want to create some variety in your pose? Stay present. Once you've chosen something, stick with it. Breathe into the pose, breathe into this experience. And one more breath. Feel the intensity of the muscles working. Straighten that front leg, lower the arms, cross the arms over the chest. Right, so staying with warrior one, I'll get it right this time. Let's stay with warrior one as we move in and out. So warrior one to revolve triangle. And if it helps, you can lift your back heel and turn your toes forward. So that's quite a good way to keep the hips a little bit more easy to move in and out of the different poses. So inhale, bend the front knee, arms rise, nice and simple. And exhale, come forwards. Reach the arms forwards, straighten the front leg, right hand to floor, left arm keeps going back and up. So essentially it makes a whole circle, whereas the right arm makes a half. Then it comes back. The left arm reaches back, down, the knee bends, and we come back into our high lunge or warrior one. We're going to enjoy the high lunge. It feels a bit more muscular. Reaching the arms forward, fingertips to the floor, right, left arm back and up, turn the head, revolve the rib cage, and then back into warrior one, high lunge. Couple more. So feel what happens when we get kind of into the muscles. We can feel those muscles working. It can feel really quite a deep experience, but we're not rushing. So we're feeling like, it can feel like a very grounding experience to be in the body. So let's straighten the front leg, hand down to the floor or any other modification. And let's stay now in our revolved triangle for a few breaths. I'm going to come this way because I realise I have my back to all of you for most of it. But I still have. Okay. So this is what we're aiming for, a nice stacked rib cage. Mainly that, depending on your rotation, you may or may not be kind of stacking your rib cage, but the main thing is we don't want to have the chest facing down towards the floor. Okay, reach up, one last breath. If you're still in the pose, I can see some of you have come out, which is great to see. Obviously you know what you need. Let's come up again, last time. Straighten the front leg, lower the arms down, step forwards. Whew. So yeah, that was quite a lot of focus on the same leg, so give the legs a little shake. All right, so why don't we now start to find our way down to the floor, and we're going to do this just through bringing the hands to the front of the legs, Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthen up, lift the gaze, lift the sternum, and exhale, slide your hands down the front of the legs and just fold. Maybe a hum, maybe an exhale through the mouth. Let's inhale, sweep the hands up the back of the legs, coming up, lifting the gaze, and then hands down the front of the legs as we float down. Let's do one more, hands up the backs of the legs, inhale. And then coming forwards as you exhale. This time we'll come forwards, hands down the front of the legs. Then bring the hands to the floor, step your feet back, and let's sink into child pose. So toes can be untucked, knees can be wide or together. Let's stretch the arms forward, but if you prefer, make a little pile with your hands and rest the forehead on your hands. And just bring the awareness to the breath. Notice the inner state and try to notice without any expectation. Sometimes there can be a perception that, because we're practicing yoga, meditation, there should be, something that happens. We want something good to happen. And generally, yeah, that's understandable. But sometimes, particularly with meditation, it's really just about showing up and experiencing yourself as an ever-changing landscape, just being simply awareness of no expectations. So as you tune in, just gently notice, sense and feel without expectation. Let's take another breath here. And then release the hands. If they're stretched back, stretch them forwards, come forwards onto your abdomen. Tops of the feet on the mat. We're going to practice a couple of back bends, and we're going to explore what it feels like to move consciously between those states of effort where we feel quite a strong contraction, which we can link this experience in the physical body to an experience of stress where we contract and we feel tension. So let's consciously contract and feel tension, and then consciously let it go. So we're going to bring that arms either out to the side straight, or like me, I'm going to do cactus arms. So right angles with the forearms and the upper arms, forehead on the mat. As you breathe in, raise your head, chest, legs, and arms. And the arms can lift quite high so that you feel a squeeze between the shoulder blades. Can you feel that? Pause and hold, legs extend straight. Feel the whole back body contracted, possibly tense. And then let yourself melt to the floor, turn your head to the side and feel the complete opposite. Total surrender, muscles floppy. Take a breath in, breathe out through the mouth. Let's do it again. We're going to do about 5 rounds. So inhale, come up. Lift up, squeeze, hold, legs straight as you can. Press out through the toes. Really get deep into this sense of tension, contraction, and then go down to the floor, turn your head the other way. I mean, it's not even a sense of contraction, it's a direct experience of tension, contraction, gripping. Let's come up again, inhale, squeeze those muscles, feel them. Squeeze the shoulder blades. Relax the face, no need to tense up the face, and lower down, turn your head to the other side and melt. 2 more. Breathe in, breathe out through the mouth. Take the time to shift between those 2 states each time. Coming up, inhale. And also, not to mention this nervous system benefit, but think about how much good you're doing for your back to strengthen the back body. Is so important. Let's come back down. We're so obsessed with the front of the body, we forget about the back of the body. Maybe because we don't see it as much. Well, we don't see it at all, really, do we? Let's come up one last time. Maybe stretch the arms forwards if they're not. Keep the gaze slightly down just to let the neck be long, and see how it feels to stay relaxed in the mind, in the face, and feel the body maybe start to shake as you're holding the pose for longer. How does it feel? Can you be playful? Oh my goodness. And then let's let it go. Melt. See how the relaxation response kicks in now. Can you feel it? Can you feel how from effort, conscious effort, now comes that deep space and experience of release? Beautiful. Okay, let's take 1 breath. Breathing out. If for any reason the back bends, you need to be careful with back bends at the moment, then for the next one, maybe just leave it out, fold the hands and rest your forehead on the hands. It gives you a little bit of elevation without being a strong back bend. So it's up to you. Otherwise, we're going to practice upward facing dog, which for some of you will be quite strong. Slide the hands back towards the waist. So it's like cobra pose, but the hands are closer to the waist and the hips are off the floor, possibly the knees too. So hands slide back, tops of the feet on the mat. Let's push the hands into the floor and then straighten the arms and lift the pelvis off the floor. My knees are on the floor, but if you want, you can make it stronger and lift the knees up. So you want to be engaging your abdomen strongly, and you want to be getting that sense of the tailbone stretching towards the heels and the spine lengthening forwards and up, not just sort of hammocking the back, all right? So lengthening and stretching in both directions. As you stay, feel the arms, feel the effort, and then knees down, and let's take it back to child pose. So soften, release back, roll out the wrists. And And you know, just you've tried one round, let's see if maybe there's another round. So coming into the pose slightly differently, coming in from top down. Last time we came from bottom up. Hands underneath the shoulders, and you can use fists if that suits your wrist joints better. How does that feel? Let's stay here. Lift the gaze. Feel body, effort, engagement. Last breath. And then knees sink down, take it back to child pose. And again, just roll out the wrists. Take a breath. Let's slide onto the abdomen now. And then come onto the back. So a pose that we've been exploring in class is one that releases the psoas muscle. So the psoas muscle, there's two of them. They stretch they attach to the spine, sort of mid-back. They thread down through the torso, the abdomen, and they attach to the thigh bones. They're directly related to the fight, flight response. And so it's a really good idea to target them. We're going to do this pose where we stretch, so both legs bent to begin, and then bring your right foot underneath your left buttock. So as you do, try to keep the knee in line with the hip. So take a look if you're not sure. So my knee is sort of in line with my hip, and my leg is bent, and my right foot is under my left buttock. Then I stretch the left leg out and see how that feels. For me, I could get quite a strong stretch in the right thigh, quad area, quite close to the groin. But I can also feel it kind of up more in the pelvis as well. And then you might want to stretch your arms up and overhead just to really get that sense of the whole body being involved in this exercise of spaciousness. Let's stay here for 10 breaths. So as you finish that last round of breath, just simply slide the leg out and maybe hug that thigh into the chest, and just feel that little squeeze of the hip flexor. Let's try the other side. So stretch that leg out, bend the left leg, tuck the foot underneath the buttock, try to get it quite close. Have a look at the knee. So I mean, it's interesting, I can see the differences in my body because this side, the knee is quite a bit further out to the side. So obviously my pelvis is, not completely balanced, and my pelvis is a bit more leaning to the left in this one. So you might want to prop your buttock up on a blanket or something like that, or even your hand, that's better. And then the thigh will descend a bit more. So staying here. 10 breaths. Arms can reach up and overhead, or one arm. And then move into that space of stillness. Just be with sensation that you're experiencing. If there isn't much sensation physically, perhaps, this particular pose doesn't affect a huge sensation for your body. If that's the case, that's fine. Maybe just bring the awareness to the breath in the nostrils or another part of the body where you feel it, so that you can really be present. So how does it feel now to take one last breath? Where's the state of mind? Or where is the mind, rather? Then how does it feel to release from the pose? Stretch the legs out on the mat. Bring the hands onto the belly. And just take a moment to relax the body into Shavasana. Legs are stretched out. Whole body relaxed, spacious. As we either bring hands to the belly or awareness to the belly, let's see if we can drop the breath progressively down into this area. And this is another simple tool to encourage and generate that feeling of safety and ease, to stimulate vagal tone. Think about the cranial nerve, the kind of the ending of the nerves is down in the abdomen area. So as we breathe in, smooth and slow, abdomen expands. You might feel this under the hands. Let's breathe out with just a mouth exhalation till all the breath is gone. And just doing a few more of those. You might like to breathe out through your pursed lips. That's another option. So this belly breathing, it would be very hard to do if you're feeling quite triggered and anxious, because your energy would be diametrically opposite to this kind of slow, smooth breathing. So to apply this, could potentially be unhelpful. But the exhalation through pursed lips could be very helpful. But notice how we have used our practice of working with the physical body, which is of fundamental importance to shift state. We have practiced, and now we arrive here able to access this belly breath. So let's take a few more conscious, smooth breaths. Let's take one or two more breaths. And then we're going to spend just a couple of minutes in quiet stillness before we come out of Shavasana for pranayama. So just a couple of minutes of silence. Relax your body any way that you wish. So let's just finish the last few rounds of breath. And as you do so, just start to move hands and feet maybe, or stretch the body. Notice the effect of even just a couple of minutes of Shavasana. When you're ready, bending the knees and rolling over to the side, just supporting your head with your arm as you stay here, just for a breath or two. Just know that your practice today will have generated a shift in the nervous system if you have been experiencing any of those states of anxiety or stress. It can really help. So celebrate yourself for showing up today and for taking care of your needs. Let's rub the hands together and palm the eyes. One last time. Feel how nourishing it is. It can be great if you have a headache. Take a breath in, breathe out, release the hands. Beautiful. Thank you so much, everyone, for your presence today. Namaste.